Welcome to Mishna study, Masachet Eruvin Perek Daled Mishnah Vav. Over here in this Mishnah, we're going to discuss two people with a common area, right? Meaning what? This can happen on Shabbat or Yom Tov. There'll be two separate cases. But let's say two people were stuck outside, right? They were, outside on Shabbat, in Reshut Rabim, right? They only have their 4 amot, and a person, they have overlapping amot. I drew a picture over here, right? You see, one person has 4 amot, in the one square. Another person has 4 amot in another square. But you see in that middle, the yellow area, both their 4 amot overlap a little. So there's a common space. So if they're both stuck outside, they could eat in that common space. They could both bring their food, and they could share and have one meal together, because that area they're allowed to, both of them are allowed to, carry in. But they can't bring their other friends' pots from one side to the to the next. So that's going to open up our Mishnah. Right? 2 people. Some of their amot were overlapping with their friends. They go and bring their food and eat in the middle. As long as one person doesn't carry his food from one side, all the way across, to the other person's side. Right? This could be like in a case of Shabbat, where there's only 4 amot, or it could be a case of Eruv Tehumin, right? When there's 2,000 amot, right? Let's say 2,000 amot, one person has 2,000 amah, another person has 2,000 amah, and they overlap. I don't know, there's 10 amot that overlap, right? They could go ahead and share that common space, right? They can have a meal together in that common space. Let's say there were 3, right? 3, and the middle one was in between, right? So you have one person, on the right, another person left, and the one in the middle, right, is shares with the person on the right and the left. But look, the person on the right and the left don't have any common space together. The person in the middle shares with both guys on the outside, but the people on the outside don't overlap at all, right? This is important to to point out. So there were 3 people, and the middle one, right, is really in muvla b'nehem. It's in between them both. He's allowed with 2 people on the outside, and the 2 people on the outside are allowed to eat with him. But the 2 people, 2 external people on both ends, asurim ze'im ze, right? They can't eat with each other because they don't have any common space together. Amar Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Shimon comes, what's this similar to? To 3 courtyards that are open up to one another. Right? So how's this case? You have 3 courtyards, right? A, B, and C. They're all open to each other, right? They're all connected to each other, right? A is connected to B, B is connected to C, and underneath it is a street. Reshut Rabim, runs, all across, underneath all these houses. And they made an eruv, but who made the eruv? A and B made one eruv together, and B and C made another eruv together. But A and C did not make any eruv. So A could carry to B's courtyard and vice versa. B could carry to C's courtyard and vice versa. But A cannot carry to C. So that's Rabbi Shimon's opinion, and this is what he says over here. Rabbi Shimon says, what's this similar to? 3 hatzirot that are open to another, and they're open to the Reshut Rabim. The 2 external ones made an eruv with the middle. Right? The middle one's allowed to carry to both externals, right? B is allowed to carry to A and to C. And they're allowed to carry in hers. The 2 outside ones, A and C, are asurat, they're not allowed to carry into one another. Now, this is Rabbi Shimon's opinion. And Rabbi Shimon is basically saying, oh, you know what you said regarding the 2 people that we said that they have a common space and they can eat together? The same thing should apply. It's as similar as it can be to this other case that Hachamim, you and I, argue on. Now, right? So he said, Hachamim, why do you argue with me? Because Hachamim don't allow. Hachamim do not allow B, right? Hachamim do not allow the case over here of B to carry with A and B to carry with C. It doesn't work. because A and C also did not make an eruv together, therefore B can carry in A's territory or in C's territory. That's what Chachamim say. And why do they say this? Because they worry that if they allow one of the external guys, right, A or C, to carry within B, then they may not realize, and they may carry all the way to the other end, right? A may carry all the way to C's area, and no one's going to stop them because there's so many people in the courtyard, right? So many people in these houses, they're not going to realize, and they're just going to just allow it to happen. But when it comes to the case that we mentioned in our Mishnah of two people that are eating together or three people that are eating together, if they're going to go ahead, right, over here in this case, right, if the guy on the right is already going to start to pass his stuff all the way to the guy on the left, the guy in the middle is going to stop him. There are only three people, and he's not going to allow the halakha to be violated like that. But when it's courtyard with multiple 20 people, 30 people in each courtyard, right, it can very happen that they would carry from one end to the next, and therefore Chachamim do not allow it. But halakha is like Rabbi Shimon in all the cases. Over here, it's like Rabbi Shimon in this case, and in the case of the courtyard that we mentioned earlier also, that A and B, if they make a roof together, they carry it together. And B and C, if they make a roof together, they can carry it together. But A and C, obviously, since they did not make an roof, cannot carry from one to the